Look, when I tell you, I know about crypto, I know about Bitcoin, I know about these things. I've just got a feeling for it, okay? What Web 2 was for our parents is what Web 3 is to us. And when I talk about our parents, I mean like boomers, probably. Yeah, boomers. Around that era. Okay, boomer. I just feel that despite everything that's happening in blockchain and Web 3 and crypto at the moment, we're still... If you're looking at this from, oh, I've lost a whole bunch of money, the technology, like this, still all of it's going to fall apart, you're looking at it from the wrong way. Why? Because Web3 and crypto and blockchain, it's not about the money aspect of it, it's just a part. You're looking at the technology and what the technology is able to provide humanity in the years to come. That is what you're looking at. Nothing else. Nothing else. Okay? So, when I tell you that this is going to still be a part of this world in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years. However, what it may look like is going to morph into something else. Why don't you just believe me? Why? Because I'm just this lowly on YouTube? No, because I've actually spent time looking into this stuff. Not as much as you know, possibly an investor, but enough to get a feel for something and kind of really understand that this is going to be a future that we're going to live in. This isn't some type of fad, right? You know, we've gone through the whole, you know, or still going through the whole, we're building. You know, we're going to continue to keep building and we're going to continue to keep iterating. So today, characteristics of Web3. Let's get onto it. Web3 is difficult to define in exact terms. However, it can be effectively broken down into unique components. The biggest of which is the Semantic Web. Improves upon web infrastructure by generating, sharing, and connecting content-based or understanding of words, rather than relying on keywords and numbers, search and analysis utilized in context. Thanks to the Semantic Web metadata, Web3 achieves greater connectivity by leveraging all available information. The user experience dramatically improves. Artificial intelligence. Web3 can process information in a very similar way to humans, or at least that's the capability that we're hoping for. As a result, platforms can better satisfy user needs through continuous learning. 3D capabilities. 3D dimensional design is already in use in many Web3 platforms. Computer games, e-commerce applications, and mapping software represent only a few potential use cases. Ubiquitous. In a decentralized Web3 environment, all content is accessible by multiple platforms. Every device connects to the web, and the associated services are available everywhere. That's the key thing with this whole decentralized thing, right? We're looking at a world where everything is interconnected. Everything can be accessed from anywhere. That's the world that, you know, kind of the pinnacle of what we want to live in. This is what we're trying to get to. This is what does it. Web3 and existing business models. Although we might have only just begun to explore the potential of Web3 applications, their ability to upset the status quo is just completely undeniable. Just look at the world in the last 2 years. You know, I mean, guaranteed it wouldn't be this fast. We wouldn't be where we are without a pandemic, but we're here, so let's enjoy it and let's keep building. Let's keep building and let's keep building. Of particular interest, you want to focus on the amount of decentralized projects operating in traditional industries. Will upend conventional revenue models. It will. I don't know why people think it won't. You know, a traditional business model does still have a place in this world, and it always will to an extent, but you've got to understand that there are always new ways and new businesses popping up that are going to do things differently. In this case, crypto, the decentralized world, Web3 is doing that. I shouldn't even use the word crypto. Through utilizing distributed peer-to-peer platforms, some industries have begun to consider other funding options. I mean, you just look at creators nowadays. You can totally finance your whole life and your whole kind of creation journey through, you know, social tokens, NFTs, projects. You know, there is a world of finance available now that wasn't previously, and it's totally crowdfunded in essence. A lot of decentralized startups effectively are attempting to add a ninth revenue model, capital gains. In these cases, the value of an asset or a token will rise and they'll make money from it. But other people can make money from the same rise in value of the same asset. They are intrinsically linked to you now. They have a vested interest of you doing well rather than it just being some pithy share of a company that you're like, oh, I don't really have a bigger say. You now have a huge say in the direction that this individual, the direction this project can take. Revenue share. The revenue share model uses profits to enable separate actors to develop efficiencies or innovate in mutually beneficial ways, such as splitted earnings. Percentage fee. This model is where you take a percentage of each transaction on your platform. It remains a popular model. Exchanges and marketplaces use them alike. Income share. Using this model, users share earnings from another entity. An offline example would be a restaurant where the cashier shares tips with everyone. In the context of Web3, however, you could give $1 tip in a coffee shop and split it with every actor in the coffee value chain with minimal transaction costs. Now think about that. Now that's big brain. Continuous organizations. A continuous organization is one that sets up a decentralized autonomous trust, or a DAT, not a DAO. A trust is an immutable smart contract that implements curve bonding to automatically mint, burn, and distribute tokens called fair security. I should look into this. Organizations provide value by the trust by diverting parts of all their cash flow to it. The future of all of this is going to be very interesting, as I mentioned at the start. The development of Web3 technology persists. Blockchain technology will remain a vital component of online infrastructure. Although the world continues to benefit from the transformative power of the web, user empowerment remains a priority amongst a growing segment of society. In a time when centralized institutions and government exert massive amounts of control over our data, basically, we are the product. Many have begun to challenge the status quo. Do I? To an extent. Those exploring this emerging subset of the web are well positioned to benefit from growing momentum. Yeah, sure, you're jumping on the hype to begin with, and then you actually understand the technology, and then you're like, oh my god, this is going to make a difference. By leveraging Web3 tech, companies also have the ability to enact new, potentially lucrative business models, something that you probably haven't thought about in a way that you haven't thought about, and Web3 gives you that capability. Regardless of the industry, the new web presents an opportunity to pivot from traditional revenues in search of more optimal solutions. You know, you could have a traditional business model and then stick a Web3 thing over it. It might actually work better. Who knows? But it's important to note that all of this requires a refinement, and Web3 isn't the pinnacle of what we want it to be. It's nowhere near matured. We are still early days, early doors into this. You know, think about the web, like the internet. How far was that? 10 years in, 13 years in. We're in an amazing place. We're in an amazing time. Don't take it for granted. Keep learning, keep pushing yourself, keep finding and looking into new opportunities. Start with whatever piques your interest. And as always, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you soon.